All right, everybody, back with another one. This is going to be a quick one today, but just want to take a look and see what on this episode of the Andrew Schultz show, his podcast called Flagrant, what 50 Cent had to say about the Diddy allegations, because he's been calling him out a lot. He's been doing it for years, and he seems to maybe know the inside scoop a little bit of, you know, the truth of some of those things. So I just wanted to do a quick take on this. I feel like there's probably going to be a lot more stuff to come out with the Diddy stuff and the Epstein stuff and all different types of, um, you know, crazy things that have been going on lately. After Trump gets in the next few weeks, you're probably going to start to see a lot of these cases come to light and really be exposed to the American people. So, I just wanted to get his take on it because he's a big rapper. He's on the inside. He's obviously, known Diddy and a lot of these big players for years. So, I think, maybe he probably has some information or at least knows the truth to some degree about a lot of that stuff. But at this point, I think we all kind of know. He was involved in some really, shady stuff. And like I said, a lot of that's probably going to come to light within the next few months, maybe sometime this year, as Trump gets in. But let's see what 50 Cent has to say about it.
I've been in with Puffy. I know you're not really tapped in, but what
the last thing I saw was like a guy there. He was like, "Yo," he like pushed me into the truck. It really hurt, and he sounded me. I was like, "Yo, look, I could find other things to do for money." Did you see the for money? Bro, I'm not sure I can say that for money. Like somebody pushed me.
How much is this guy trying to get?
I don't know. Like it's a simple suit situation, but it's like
20 mil. I can say it.
You still have to black his face out. You still have to mimic his voice because he's like,
but his voice wasn't even that different.
And a little deeper. I was like, almost like, no, that's you, young buck.
Yo,
I almost felt like it was. I almost knew who it was. You know what I mean? I was like, nah.
Yo, you can't say that dudes are having sex with other dudes, bro. I think that might come for you.
Yeah,
you
say
sweet love.
Yeah,
young buck say make sweet love.
That's young buck breaking right there.
Make sweet love.
There's rules to rap beef now, bro.
Nah, people don't know. Well, I'm saying like, God, man. Why is your homeboy so close to you when you come out of there? Look like you guys just made sweet love. I'm gonna say sweet love instead of anything.
To me, that's better because they're gonna try to make it something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was smart. Like I didn't think about that. I say things to the borderline, like I'm like, oh my God, you're in trouble.
You?
Like all the time. Because I just say.
Nah, but you got close when he offered to take you shopping.
Yeah, you see, Amika's in the same shirt. He's out there in the same shirt. This is not Photoshop. This is really happening. I'm just saying. No, stop it, man. You set that up. Look, you set that up. This dude, he's in the same shirt.
What do you mean he's in the same shirt?
Obviously was not offended by what I was offended by. This is what I'm saying, bro. Because you go, I'm like, nah, it was odd. Like, this is some of the things that people say. Like, girls, guys may say to a girl, let me take a shot. See?
Damn.
They found it that quick.
What do you think is happening in the middle?
I don't know what is going on.
Wow, they found Kendrick and Whiteface.
You can't dress up Kendrick like that. Oh, you can't dress him up like that. That's like the White Chicks movie, bro. You can't do that.
Yeah, that was comedy. That was good.
Yeah, but that was,
get away with Whiteface.
That's obviously doing shopping. They got the same outfit.
Yeah,
it's true. Public.
Yeah, that's a nice shirt. That was a nice shirt. All right, so when he said the shopping line in real life, what did you say?
That's really funny, and that's a good point. Some of this stuff should have been clear signs to the public, but you never know with people in the entertainment industry why they might be doing something, but unless you're working for the same company and you have the same uniforms, you really don't ever see two men match. That's not a normal thing for men, But yeah, that should have been like a dead giveaway that he's matching outfits with another guy. That's kind of a weird thing, unless he was doing some sort of performance, maybe a music video or something. I don't really know what the reason or the context is for that, but yeah, that alone is very weird. Matching uniforms, matching outfits, really, with another guy. That's strange. But it's weird too. Like, a lot of this stuff was captured on camera, and in photos and videos and stuff. And at the time, nobody says anything. Nobody calls it out for being strange or weird. It's only in hindsight that we look back and we see a lot of this stuff, this evidence now, and are giving it a second look and saying, wait, why were they doing that? That's really weird. And what's up with that? But for some reason in the moment, nobody says anything. Nobody, points out these weird observations, except, maybe 50 Cent was throughout these years. Apparently he was. Apparently he was pointing these things out as they were happening. But it's strange that a lot more people didn't. So let's see what he has to say.
Looking and I was like, let me just move away from him because I'm gonna mess up the win. I always say to myself, like,
it was someone's wedding.
It was Chris Lighty's wedding. It was in Miami. Nori's there. Nori knows this, and I looked at him like, yo.
So he's saying it was a wedding that they were at. Now, unless you're the groomsmen, and I don't think those were groomsmen outfits. Usually you would wear like some sort of really nice suit, maybe a tux, depending on the quality of the wedding. But I don't think those were groomsmen outfits. So he wasn't doing any type of shoot for a project. He was at a wedding and he's matching outfits with another guy. Yeah, that's a strange thing. Now, it doesn't, nothing against him if he was openly gay and he's, matching with the guy that he's with. But all of this was being hidden in plain sight. That's, I think, what a lot of people are taking issue with is that, he was doing these things in plain sight and they were dead giveaways that something strange was going on. But yeah, so he just clarified that he wasn't doing any type of, shoot for a music video or project or something. He was at a wedding.
You heard what he just said, right? He's like, yo, certain things they let it go by because it's puff. Like they would look like he would say stuff, but it's like he wasn't like in the closet, he was like in the hallway. Now you see so much shit that you go, wait. No, this was visible.
He was in the hallway. We saw the video.
We saw that video. It comes out later. You're like, that's not the closet. That's the hallway. He didn't give a fuck. Like you can tell that he was already.
Nah, New York is dope. Because when Fab, he was like, yo, Fab, we ain't party. Fab was like, nah, we partying tonight.
He's like, no, like, but he did party. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, they let that one go? Like, I had to say something about it later because I was like, oh, it was
what does it feel like all these years? You've been the only one calling this out.
I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long time.
They say you're a hater. They say you're crazy.
You do this, and now everybody's complaining. My ass is hurting. There's all this shit that's coming.
50, you can't make jokes about it.
No.
The internet might comfort you, bro.
All I'm saying
it might comfort
you. You see it now. All of these complaints. People were damn, they were and pillaged. This was never going on, right? And what do I get for the? I went through years of a hater. You're a hater. You want this and that. I'm just watching. Like I look at things and go. When you see the new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay, I go, oh shoot, like. Then I think about it, I go, that had to be there. So when I was saying that he was missing. He just wasn't actively being out there because they was dealing with that.
Wait, do you think there's truth to the Jay thing? There's no way.
Like, look, like if you say, I have this thing where I'm conflicted when it takes you 20 years to remember something happened to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I go also 10 years, 20 years later, that comes back. And it's like all of Puff's problems are coming from the ministers touching little boys.
What you mean?
The laws are the way they are because because
of the priests.
The priests touching little boys.
Yeah. Oh, Why are they looking at me, bro? I just go to church. I just go to church, right? I have nothing to do with this. I have an alibi.
That's why the law's allowing you to
You're
go
gonna
that far
laugh if you
back.
turn away from me right here. I'm just a Catholic kid.
You said you've been dead on, dude.
No. What's the body of Christ taste like? It's sacrilegious. You can't do that.
He's like, yo, drink my blood.
Yo,
So it is crazy when after 20 years they come out. That shit is foul.
But with Puffy, you were the only one saying anything for decades.
yeah, because we had our own little thing.
But you were the only.
What was
Everybody
your
else
thing?
was scared.
Huh?
But everybody else was scared. So you think maybe this is a similar thing where everybody else is scared? I don't know what it is. I'm just
I
asking.
think that they're scared.
But if they're scared,
But
then maybe
you've
that's
been
why I'm saying it to 'em.
insinuating Jay-Z a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you've been saying people gonna come for him a little bit.
No,
You've been
I thought he would do funky stuff like the Super Bowl. Like it was not okay for me to be at the Super Bowl.
Oh, he tried to cut that.
Yeah, he didn't want me to. Well, they worked to make like there was an issue with me in the NFL that doesn't exist.
Mm.
And
So
then
he did the corporate way of
Yes.
trying to keep you down.
I'm
Oh, it's
doing
not me. It's them.
it's them. And then when M says he's not gonna do it if I'm not there, then,
Let's go.
Yeah.
you know,
That's
But
what I'm
what's
talking
your
about, man.
and Jay's issue?
it's just competitive stuff.
It's
for the
really
music.
just
This is
competitive.
what I'm saying. When it gets past actual art, like actual music, and you're trying to block something that's in business, then it feels weird. It feels like we should be having beef.
Oh,
Okay.
So
I can
that's the
see that.
behind the scenes thing that we
Yeah.
don't see. It's
Yeah.
one thing when there's like people talking about each other in music,
Yeah.
but there's behind the scenes business deals that a guy is getting involved with on the side. And it's not like you're going to go public and be like, they tried to stop my vitamin water.
Yeah, or this deal. And you go, he said that to you? Like,
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
I get that.
like they'll speak to your temperament. Like say, you know, if 50 is a little crazy, he'll say anything. You see what saying anything did to Kanye.
So they're trying, he's basically trying to scare
Yeah,
people out of
out
doing
of
deals
doing
with
it.
you. Interesting. And then M shut it down and he was like, yo, it's got to
I'm not,
happen.
if he's not coming, I'm not coming. And then it
That's
changes the whole thing because he really is the biggest one.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they can say what they want.
Yeah.
But when we go to the stats, the
They-
actual
they-
numbers,
Numbers
They
don't
know the
lie.
numbers.
he's the
And that was
biggest
before
one.
the
And-
days of the bots and all that shit.
Yeah.
There's a, you know, M obviously speaks with you with high praise, but there's a few videos that I see and everybody talks about how funny you are. They talk about obviously the album's all the success, but like,
You know, it's like it's a shame too because I remember growing up. I don't know if this was just because of, you know, show business or whatever. Maybe it was all just an act to, you know, build a character, which is totally likely. But Eminem was always the outlier. He was always the one that was. I mean, he was mega famous. He was definitely the top rapper or music artist at one point in the early 2000s. He was definitely number one. He had the most number one hits on the radio, and he was a huge, huge star. And he was always the one that would call out a lot of the BS. You know, he would call out corruption. He would call out a lot of like petty infighting. Between that music community, and he would call out just about everything. You would have thought when we got older that he would have been the one that was like a 50 Cent calling out all of these people who are involved in shady things that's now coming to light. You would have thought that he would called out like the Democrats for using the rap industry or the entertainment industry and people in that industry as like puppets in order to get votes. You would have thought that he would have maybe even endorsed Trump because Trump's kind of a rebel like the way that he was. And you really would have thought like things turned out differently. It's a shame to see how he's gone today. Like he totally sided with everything he claimed to hate and bash in his music back in the day. But usually things like that, they have stuff on you, or you're in that industry so long, you get blinded by just this echo chamber of being in Hollywood and being in this industry where everybody's praising you and telling you how great you are, and You have a bunch of yes men around you that are always telling you yes, to every idea, every stupid idea that you have. And they're just constantly feeding you, lies and nonsense to keep you in like one mind frame. A lot of times agents and managers do this with their talent as well, to distract them from like seeing what's going on out in the world and keep them in a certain mind frame so that they could control them. So I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if that happened, if his agents and managers just like brainwashed him, or if people in the industry, just being in like that echo chamber for so long, just made him become like, I guess, just ultra liberal or part of that team. But he was never that way. So, and he did. He always seemed to have like a close relationship with 50 Cent and some of these people, that he would, do music with. Like he had songs with him. They would perform on stage together. Um, whatever concerts or whatever they had. Um, so he seemed like he was more aligned with 50 Cent and people like that, where they're a little bit more real, and not so much with these people who just wanted to be like, mega celebrities. But he eventually went that way. So it's kind of it's a shame to see that he didn't continue down that path of being who he was back in the 90s and the 2000s. Um, but yeah, it's interesting to see how things unfold over time. Um, some of these people were one way when we were younger, and now they just went like a complete 180 and went with the culture, and they went with the, ideologies opposite to what they claimed to believe back then. So just pointing out that observation. I don't know if anybody else noticed that, but yeah, back in the day, like Eminem was a different person, and now he's like the opposite of who he was.
Eminem specifically talks about your rapping skill a lot.
Yeah.
Is that mean a lot? I'm like,
It does. Like, look, he never left that part of the creativity. Like he would go back when you don't see him. He's back. He's in his regimen of the studio.
yeah.
And this is why, like, he kind of they can't. You can be as good as him, but you can't really beat him at that.
Definitely.
Because you have to put all your energy there.
And you're just not going to do it. Once these guys get famous, they leave the
That's
studio.
it. And they go. And the thing that makes him feel good is you heard what I did last like last night, and it gives him that again. So if that's really what's driving you, it's really tough to be better than. And some of them may have a gift. It may be a God-given talent that they can rap the way we speak, but they don't work as hard as him. It's like Kobe Bryant was outperforming people because he would work harder, conditioning himself to do it. And other than him, I don't think nobody's.
Who's the most talented rapper you've seen? Period. Just talent, natural born.
Maybe Craig G. Like when an artist can freestyle, like without thinking about anything, and it just all falls in line and sing. Sometimes they can end up rapping it's so easy for them that they don't know exactly what to rap about. You see what I'm saying?
Technically, it's good.
And even Eminem, because I remember those freestyles where they would just give him a word and he just has to
go.
Go. Can do that too.
Yeah,
can go.
But you're right. Sometimes you miss like the connectivity with the music. Like their songs, there's comedy where it might not even be like the most perfect joke, but it makes you feel the thing.
Yes,
and that's better to you.
That it connects.
Yeah.
Like, and look, a lot of times, if there's no truth to it, it's not funny.
Yeah.
It has to have some sort of connection that's grounded in truth, but it's almost a warped perspective being offered by the comedian.
I actually say that all the time. That's like one of the major things that happened with comedy over the last, maybe less than a decade, when everything started going woke and crept into all the different parts of the industry, the entertainment industry, especially stand-up comedy. That's a natural, like, law of comedy, is that it has to have an element of truth. Otherwise, it's not funny. And, obviously, certain things can make a joke not funny, bad delivery, it just didn't land right, whatever. But truth for sure is at the core of comedy. And if it doesn't have any elements of truth, it won't be funny. Even if you deliver it well, it just won't land because your brain won't register that that's funny because it doesn't have anything to sort of like base it against. Your brain will take the joke and check it against a truth that it already inherently knows. And when it doesn't match up, uh, you won't get that response. You won't laugh. People won't really laugh. I mean, sometimes people might laugh just because um, it's like a, you know, nervous thing. People will just laugh when they're in certain situations, like if they're at a comedy show, just because they feel that's what they're supposed to do. But if anybody's genuinely watching the show, um, to laugh when something is funny, they're not going to laugh at a joke that's got no truth in it. And that's what happened with comedy over the last few years. Is a lot of comedy kind of died because a lot of people were just making stuff up that wasn't true and trying to sell it to the audience like propaganda. And this is where you saw an explosion of comedians coming out and, doing real jokes again and having like backlash in the media, people trying to cancel them, but they still rose to fame because, you know, truth is funny and the people decided we want real comedy again. I think this happened with Shane Gillis is one that comes to mind where he was hired by SNL and then immediately fired because he got canceled for some joke that he made on his podcast, I think. I'm not really sure all the details, but I do remember something about that. And you would have thought that was the end of his career because he just, not only did he not make it on the show, on like one of the biggest, comedy shows out there, he got quote unquote canceled. Well, he's a bigger star now than before he was even, hired by SNL because he is actually genuinely funny and his jokes have truth in them. And he built himself up in a career on his own. Um, and I think, a lot of people kind of backed him just out of spite because they realized he was funny. They liked his jokes and they were kind of annoyed that, everybody tried to cancel him. Uh, so maybe they supported him out of spite for the people that were trying to cancel him. But either way, his stuff is funny because it has truth in it. And a lot of the comedians that they're trying to get everybody to be perfect and not say anything insulting or mean, otherwise they'll cancel you. That's not comedy. That's the exact opposite of comedy. Comedy does insult. Comedy does every once in a while hit you with something that's a little mean, a little edgy, and the audience will determine and decide whether or not they like that, whether or not they're ready for it, and whether or not it's even funny. This is what comedians do. They go on tour and they go to a bunch of different comedy clubs throughout, the country or wherever they are. And they practice their same material on different audiences so that they could do a special at the end of that run. And they use all their, they take notes of like what the audience liked, what they didn't like in each location, and they get a general idea as to what's funny, what's not funny, what they need to work on and craft a little bit more, and what stuff maybe people are not ready for yet. And then they end up coming out with their special. This is basically like the tested method that they've been doing for the last several, decades, ever since, comedians have been doing like comedy specials. Um, so, the audience will decide whether or not something is funny, whether or not they like it, and whether or not they're ready for it. But the media doesn't get to determine that. They don't get to decide if they don't like something because it's insulting a certain type of person or a certain, uh, you know, uh, category of society that they're going to now try and ruin your career. But that's so true. When I heard him say that, I always say that. I always say that about comedy is that it has to have truth at its core. Otherwise, it's not funny. And that's why you've seen like an explosion of bad comedians. Everybody's getting Netflix specials and all kinds of stuff. And the market's flooded and inundated with um, plenty, but the quality's not there. Um, that's kind of what happens when things start to fall apart. You have a lot of quantity of something, but not a lot of quality. It's kind of like with products in America today. Everything's made in China, and all these countries are making things cheap and garbage, and they fall apart real easily. You get it quick, and there's plenty of them. You can keep reordering, but the quality's not there. So same concept.
The timing, the way it comes in. And I look at it, I'm like, yo, nah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's great. Like, you know, and you see things like the white party would be there, and then they have a little baby like in a sandwich. Like they're hugging him from the front and the back and stuff. And I'm like, yo, get off of him. That's one of my favorite new artists. Like, yo, get off him. I don't want him going to those
What's up with the
cars.
hugging pictures at the white party, though? What is that?
I don't know, bro.
Every picture is a little
Why is
bit.
everyone so happy to be there? I'm like, this regular parties, people don't just hug each other.
You have
like,
to sit in
like,
4 hours of traffic
like
to
5.
drive.
Like, come on, let's have a group hug. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like, hug, I'm gonna shake your hand. Hey, what's up, man? Everything good? Yeah,
It does feel control. Yo, hold on, baby. That's crazy.
I'm telling you, it was too much
That's
fun.
crazy.
It was a little too much fun.
That's just white boy shit. That's why it's the white party.
Yeah.
It is the whitest party.
I was too happy to have him. Too happy to have him. And the baby
What is going on in the one on the right? That is insanity.
Yeah, that's just
Both of them. He looks like he's unzipping his pants. Look at the one on the left.
Come on.
No, this is bad.
Yeah.
This is bad.
Do you call him? Will you call him and be like, yo, listen, you're brilliantly
No, I'll
talented,
wait till I see them, but I go to them.
and you go chill with
I
that
go
shit.
to them and I go, yo, come here. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
I asked him because I like, you know, I'm a fan of the new artists, so I
Yeah.
watch him and I'm like, yo, he got the it factor. Like he got that thing, little baby. I like him.
All right. Yeah, well, that was a little bit of a different video. Just wanted to get his take. I thought he would talk a little bit more about Diddy and, like, you know, maybe some of the stuff that he knew or experiences from, like, you know, parties or whatever events that he went to. But they were just kind of goofing around, and that's cool. I like podcasts like that where they're loose and fun and people are, you know, laughing and having a good time. Not everything has to be like a serious sit down interview. It is refreshing to see that. I thought he was going to talk a little bit more about that stuff. That's all right. I've seen other things online where he, you know, did kind of point out certain things, but yeah, it's really weird that, you know, P Diddy had all these parties and everybody's talking about how at like a certain time, and these are people who were allegedly at the parties at a certain time. People who weren't part of like the VIP group would have to leave, and he would like lock the place down, and that's when like weird stuff would go on. And then I heard other people say, like, before it got to that point, sometimes, you know, it'd see like people doing stuff right in the middle of the room with everybody around, and nobody cared. They were just, you know, going on with their enjoying their time at the party while someone's, you know, doing inappropriate things in the corner of the room. And it's strange. It's like, you know, if you've ever been to a party, that type of stuff really only happens in like high school or college. You know, when you're in your 30s or 40s or whatever, and you're at like some mansion in Hollywood, and that stuff's going on, it's kind of creepy. You know, it's not like, you know, when you're young, you're curious, you're, you know, going to these things to mingle and meet people, and your hormones are raging. You're, you know, looking for, you know, the girl that you have a crush on in school, and she's there, and you're, you know, whatever, just like an immature young person. But when you're an adult, that's weird. And also, I heard, or at least, you know, that's allegedly a lot of this stuff is like there were young people there. Apparently, I don't know. Again, this is allegations, so I don't know. Allegedly, maybe like Justin Bieber when he was young, he was like 13, 14. He would be at these parties at like 10 o'clock at night or whatever the times were. And you have to ask yourself, like, why the hell? I understand, you know, you're young and you're famous and you have money, but that doesn't mean that you're not still a kid. It doesn't mean that all bets are off. You have no rules. I guess in certain homes, that's how they raise their children, where they just, you know, make your own money at that age. You can do whatever you want. But a parent really shouldn't let their child just do whatever they want and go to some adult party where they're drinking alcohol and they're, you know, doing all kinds of crazy things at that young age and then staying late and stuff. Weird stuff happens. So I'm not saying anything happened with him, but there was a lot of talk that maybe something did, and maybe, you know, that's kind of like, you know, affected him in his life. talking about Justin Bieber, but you know, there were people who claimed to have seen young people there, young people at these parties, and late into the night. So yeah, that's just, it's inappropriate and it doesn't make sense. Any logical adult would say, why is this kid here? Either I'm taking the kid and going to call his parents and he's going home, or I'm out of here because I don't want to be at a party with a bunch of kids when I'm a grown man trying to, you know, enjoy myself, have a good time. Um, so yeah, it's just it's all strange and you know, uh, I don't know. I guess we're going to see a lot of people maybe being complicit with that type of behavior, if not actively involved in it. Um, Maybe a lot of that stuff will come out now that Trump's coming in office, and maybe we'll get to see, you know, uh, some of the people who were involved, because it's not clear. Like it doesn't. There's no rule book in terms of exactly how to do this, but um, you know, it does say in the Bible, like when you do commit sin, you are supposed to repent, but you are also supposed to confess your sins. And different, you know, religions, like the Catholic religion, takes that to a point where they say you confess them in private directly to a priest. Um, but you know, other people believe that you're supposed to confess it to the person, uh, you know, and ask for forgiveness, or confess it to, you know, somebody that you can confide in, um, you know, that will maybe give you advice on the situation. But either way, you know, you are supposed to confess your sins, and this may be what is happening. God may be forcing these people, through the revelation of all this stuff, to confess their sins to the world, to bring them to light so that they can repent for their sins. I don't know, you know, what God's plan is with all this. I guess we're going to see how a lot of this stuff unravels over the next few years. I especially think 2025 is going to be a big year because I think Trump might come in very aggressive in the beginning and really trying to get as much out as he possibly can early. But we'll see if the Diddy stuff and the Epstein stuff is on top of his list. I know he's got a lot of other things that he's working on, but you know, we'll see if some of this stuff ends up coming to light while he's in office. Anyway, this was just a quick video. Wanted to hear his take on some of that stuff as we are in the new year now, and you know, maybe we'll see where things go with this. But it's nice to see when people are, you know, on the inside, what they have to say. I thought he would actually say more, but they were just kind of hanging out. But that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And put in the comments, you know, your thoughts, your take on these videos, and anything that you would like me to do in the future for future videos. It's always helpful to, you know, get topics and video ideas from you guys so that I know what it is that you actually want to watch. But that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one. All right, everybody, I just want to take a moment to promote my children's book. This is Little Boy Full of Love. That's me on the back. And this is a little sneak peek on the inside. It's a great book. It's a children's book. I actually wrote this for my son. And it's available right now on Amazon, Walmart, Barnes & Noble, Indigo, Bookshop.org, and a lot of other online platforms. But more importantly to me, it's actually available in a lot of bookstores throughout the country. You can find out which ones are closest to you on my Instagram page. You know, we highly recommend that you shop local, buy from a local bookstore. So if you are looking to, you know, get a children's book for you or anybody you know, or even with the holidays coming up, it's a great time to, you know, buy a children's book as a gift. You know, definitely get it from a bookstore that's local to you. But if you absolutely can't get it from one of the bookstores that are currently carrying it right now, and we're in about 15 or 16 different states across the country, so it may actually be in your state and it could even be local to you. But if you can't get it from the physical bookstore, check out our Amazon storefront. The book's available on there right now. And like I said, with the holidays coming up, you may want to do your Christmas or Hanukkah or holiday shopping early, and you can even order it from our Amazon storefront and ship it directly to whoever you're gifting it to. But it's available on those platforms, Amazon storefront and bookstores and other websites that I mentioned. But I want to take a moment here to look at the storefront just to give you an idea of some other stuff that we have available on there. These are products that we highly recommend. They are things that we use in our daily lives, and it's all organized by category. So it's a lot easier to, shop for the holidays and specifically for things that interest you, particular categories. Available right now, many different items on our storefront. If you can see here, 61 items just in women's apparel, fall decor, because right now we're in fall, 26 items, kitchen items, baking specifically, things for around the house, children's toys, even stuff for parties. If you're trying to save money on a party and throw in your own, occasion, you can even buy some cool gadgets here to help you, put on a better party. Health and wellness items here, even stuff for Christmas. And there's the book right there. So you can get it from the storefront. You can get it from the bookstores, like I mentioned. But it's available on all these different platforms. It's really easy to find and gift to somebody. Also, I want to show you the apparel shop, and these are some clothing items that we actually produced. So if you're looking to get some cool apparel items, shirts, hoodies, long sleeve, short sleeve, leggings, even accessories, cell phone cases, women's makeup bags, fanny packs, coffee mugs, all different types of stuff, even some, art, all different categories here, apparel, homeware, accessories, drinks, even digital items. It's all on this store, healthybodygoodssoul.com. Anything that pertains to you or somebody that you're looking to get a gift for the holidays. A lot of great designs on here, a lot of cool designs that we actually custom created. Stainless steel water bottles, especially now with the fall and winter. A lot of cool hoodies and long sleeve shirts. This is a really cool one, I think, for women. The original Be Your Soul apparel, that one's actually really popular. People tend to like that. This one's one of my favorites. The free shirt. It's the American flag and it says free and that says not property of the United States government. That one's pretty cool. Got all different types of tank tops, hoodies, long sleeve, short sleeve, tote bags, coffee mugs, even some items for kids, backpacks. So if you're the type that likes to, plan ahead, I would definitely recommend ordering from the Amazon storefront or the apparel shop within the next couple of weeks to get everything in time for the holidays. Use code SAVE15 on the apparel shop to save 15% off everything on the storefront. So order within the next week or two and you'll definitely have everything in time for the holidays. Definitely check out all the links to everything, the Amazon storefront, the book, and the apparel shop in my bio on all my platforms, Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify. But you can also find them in all the show notes for every episode that I post and get all your orders in time for the holidays. All right, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. It helps the channel continue to grow. And put in the comments things that you would like me to talk about and make videos on for the future. And I will definitely do my best to do that. Stay tuned for the next one.